Hey guys, if you're watching this video, you're a supporting or paying member of the channel or the Patreon, and I want to thank you for your support. And in this episode, I'm going to be showing you some of the plant hauls that I did back when I was shopping in Ragunan. That's actually 2 weeks ago, so we're going to be looking at some of the plants 2 weeks later today, and I'm going to share some of my care experience with them, show you some growth that's happening in my care, and maybe some of the struggles that I might have with some of them. Where possible, I'm going to insert the price on the screen so you know how much I paid for them. This is that large Fittonia. I actually ended up buying it. As you can see, new leaves are coming out. This feels a bit dry. Yeah, it feels a bit dry. I may have been underwatering it a bit. Let me feel the soil. Nope, the soil is moist. It's fine, but it's living its best life because we actually cut off the flower because we wanted them to expend more energy on putting out leaves instead. But the flowers keep coming. Look at them. Very cute. So this is actually doing okay. It's in a very dense potting media, which is why I kind of have been watering them a little bit less. But hang on, that's the potting media that it came with. But I guess it's fine. I thought that the leaves felt a bit dry. But first of all, Fittonias are very, very thirsty plants. They actually do drink up a lot of water. I have a video coming up soon where I share the full care and propagation. But yeah, they actually absolutely love water, but they can also be easily rotted if you keep them in like wet soil for too long. Like, the fungus can actually form very easily in the base here and rot the plant quickly. At least that's in my experience with the Fittonias here in a tropical climate. Next to it is the Geogenanthus. It's actually doing well. The leaves have unfurled. More new leaves hasn't come out. And if I'm not wrong, when I first grew this plant, it was a lot closer to the pot, but 2 weeks later, it's kind of reached out a bit, which may suggest that it may be growing very quickly out of it. I see some nodes in the lower stem, so this might be a relatively easy growing plant, or I doubt that it's exfoliating though, because this is getting very bright indirect light where we are here. But that is one possibility. If your plants are stretched, it may be exfoliating, but it could also just mean that they're growing really fast. See, they're like trailing off the pot now. Remember, they were a lot closer, and doing so, see, there are many nodes here. They may have shed some of the older leaves, so I'm guessing that's that, because it really is getting very, very bright light here. I water this lightly every day. I did not repot it. This is a plant that I feel will not do well with repotting, but looking at the structure of the stem here, I think this is a candidate for a propagation video soon. And then this begonia is put out flowers and some new leaves. I think these two leaves are probably old. It's leaning a bit. This is a type of begonia that usually grows very quickly, so I'm not surprised. And I still kept it in its original pot. Begonias have very ooh, I see some new vines. That's exciting. You see the vines from the bottom and also from the between the petiole and the main stem. The new leaves have emerged. So this is probably a good candidate to be propagated soon. But yeah, this is very thirsty very quickly. It's in a very fast draining soil, and this plant actually can get overwatered really quickly. I love how the flower kind of dangles like that. So this is cute. Very, very cute plant. And then this Dracaena, it is also doing okay. It's putting out some leaves, putting out that new leaf, checking also for pests while I'm here. This is so beautiful. Imagine if you just put it like amongst your other plants, like down below, to give that pop of color. That would be so cool. And this just Tradescantia is trying to steal the show. And this other one, I think also Dracaena golden something, not the fastest growing. I have a feeling this is a bit slower growing than that one, but it is growing. You see the new leaf here, and let me just check it out again. I have a feeling this is one that might like a lot more light to give it more of this variegated leaf. So yeah, it's doing okay. This one's a bit more wet, so I might have to back off watering with that one. This one is doing okay. I'm also checking for the moisture here. For this one, I might actually have to, again, water it a bit less. You have to pay attention to these. This one, I might water it later on again. It might need a bit of extra watering, maybe twice a day, I would say. But lightly, I water these slightly. I don't keep them soaking wet. The dendrobium is doing all right. It lost its flowers. Again, it's been blooming for 2 weeks. But yeah, it's done blooming for now, and I might experiment with rubbing some cakey paste here where the flower stalk used to be, because these are also where you can grow baby orchids, so I might experiment with that. And then or you could just cut off the flower buds after it's done and let it produce more. Oh, I see new shoot coming out. This is new growth. It's coming out, and the other leaves are also growing quite vigorously. They're doing okay. So yeah, this one I'm a bit concerned about. I see a slight leaf damage. I might actually spray some fungicide on this or neem oil, because orchids can also be quite prone to infections. This is that bromelia. I don't think it's growing too fast, which is a good thing. Sometimes you don't want to have plants that turn into like a weed or something, or like, you know, when you miss out on their growth because you've been away for so long, which I've been away for the past week. But this is quite cute. It's doing okay. This other one is also doing okay. Not much has changed, I believe. But with bromeliads, as you can see, the new growth is coming from the center of the crown, so they must be doing okay. But we can't really see any growth happening here. This might be a bit too wet for it. It does get rained on. I'm outside now, so I may actually move this like to a shelf. Let me see, for a few days and let them dry out a bit. So with bromeliads, you do want to have water in their crown like this, but you don't want the soil to be sopping wet like this. This is a bit too much for them. Here's that Dracaena. I believe this was a steal at around 150,000 Indonesian rupiah. However, hang on, let me see. The new leaf seemed to be a bit smaller, but it's put out, I think, 2 to 3 leaves. Ever since it's been in my home, it's been putting out leaf after leaf. This one leaf is the one before, and it's a bit smaller than the leaf below that. So I'm a bit concerned, but it is still beautiful. And sometimes when it's raining, I do set it out, because when it's cloudy, the sun is not direct, so you get some nice filtered light. And today is a pretty cloudy and rainy day, so I brought it outside because it will enjoy that airflow. And also, look at the media here. It's actually quite dry now. I think this may be overdue for a repotting for a plant this size. The pot may be a bit too small. Maybe that's why the new leaf is coming in smaller. Or maybe it was just a bit shocked. See, there's a new leaf coming out. But I have a feeling that this one is a pretty small leaf. So I may actually have to repot this to a bigger size pot. Do you see all these aerial roots that are coming out? So every node will put out some kind of aerial root, and it is wise when I repot it to bury it a little bit deeper into the soil, so that these aerial roots can turn into regular soil roots. The more roots it has, the bigger the leaves are gonna be and the faster it's gonna grow. Or, as you know me, I might actually at some point just chop it off, stick it in soil, and have these lower single nodes be propagated. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, because it's been a while since I did a Dieffenbachia video. But yeah, I'm gonna link a video up above of how I cared for and propagated a Dieffenbachia similar way. Alright, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching this bonus episode. I know there's probably only 20 of you watching this, but I appreciate your time and your contributions to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.